Right, hi again. Right, I've got the Diatone R349 Rabbit NX to have a look at. I've put a couple of videos up already of it on 3S and 4S. It's a bit different to my brushless whoop things that I've been flying just lately. The reason I got it is because summer's here and I really want to stretch the legs of them a bit in the park, and the little whoops, they're fantastic for, your little tiny areas, your little outdoors areas and some indoors and garden and things like that. But something like this would be, just seemed like a good idea to give it a go. And it's still, with the battery, it's still under the 250 grams, which is important to me because I don't want to go down the registration route and all that might entail. So yeah, the reason I got this one over anything else was it's looked absolutely ridiculously fast for such a small thing. It's a 135 motor, there to there, motor to motor. It says it weighs 130 grams. I've put an XM Plus in there and changed to an XT60 because it came with an XT30. And mine's weighing in at just over 140 grams, or 142, something like that. So it's not a big deal. The props, these aren't the original ones, these are 3042 from Get RC, because mine came with 3028 gem fans, and although it had plenty of power, it wasn't short on speed or anything. I couldn't get the handling very well on there. It seemed that yaw would act quite strangely. I did manage to tune it out a bit, but it was still there, so I thought, well, I'll get some different props. You can get the Gemfan 3052s, are the most popular for this quad, but they use a bit of power and your battery life suffers, so I like to fly for a good 4 or 5 minutes, and on these props I can do that. On 4S 650 Turnigy Graphene Panther I get 4 minutes exactly, with a mix of acro punch outs and cruising around. If I drive it really hard, it's sort of 3.5 minutes. But the type of flying that you see in my other videos, 4 minutes on those. And it also flies really well on the Turnigy 3S 800 graphenes as well. That gets me a good 5 minutes, maybe 6 if I cruise more, but 5 realistically, 4.5, 5 realistically. You give it a bit more throttle on 3S because it's got less power. So yeah, it works out. Works out very well. Flies very well. Very pleased with it. The components are the main reason I think it's a good buy. You get the Runcam Micro Swift, Runcam TX200, Mamba 3408 4000 kV motors, which is a bit of an overkill really for this size. They don't get hot, they get slightly warm, but not hot. You could definitely put bigger props on them, on bigger frame. You can move everything to a different frame and get a bit more performance out of it. The speed controller is a Mamba 4-in-1 25 amp, obviously 2 to 4S, and NF405 flight controller. Yep, that's about it. I think you can get a TBS version, but I just got the plug and play and put an XM Plus in there. That's good enough for me. So yeah, that's the specifications. It's currently it's about £110, something like that, which I think for what you get is pretty good value. It'd be quite hard to build for that sort of thing with separate parts. So yeah, nice, very, very thick, strong frame. I don't think that's going to break. Thin arms, which I like. Gives more efficiency on your thin arms. With the installation of the XM Plus, the manual says to put it there, at the back there, but I slotted it underneath there. I don't know if you can see. I just slotted that under there with the antennas coming out, down, and then on a little straps and held in place by Velcro. So yeah, I'll try and hold it so you can see. Yeah, there you go. So you know, so that protects them and keeps them at the right sort of angles. Yep, so it came with an XT30, but my batteries all had XT60s on, so I just changed that. I thought, well, you're getting on a full punch out on these props, I was getting about 43 amps. That was kind of straight up. I think if you went forwards and full amps, full power, you'd probably get a little bit more, so an XT60 is probably a good idea anyway. The camera field of view is less than what I'm used to, so it taken me a little while to get used to actually flying the thing, but it's once I get even better at it, I'll post some more videos. But I'm really enjoying the fact that it weighs so much, about 235, 240 with the batteries, with the bigger batteries. You get momentum which you don't get with these. Like, you know, if you do a power loop and you shoot over a bush or a tree, you chop the power and it carries on flying and floats over the tree, and then you can add the power and come back under the tree, which you can't really do with the whoops. They just kind of stop. So I'm enjoying that, and I'm enjoying being able to explore more of the park with a full range receiver. And the 200mW VTX is all very nice, and yeah, good. I think it's a good buy. It's worth getting. It comes with 2 spare canopies. In the bag you get 2 extra straps. Came with a much longer one in the bag, which I swapped it over to because these 2 were a bit short. Some extra bits and bobs, an XT30, an extra bit of wiring, some extra cable ties, and a buzzer, which I haven't fitted because when I did, it was too quiet. When I put the motor buzzer on, that was much louder, so I thought, well, I'll just stick with the motor buzzer. Comes also with some battery padding, grippy pads for you to stick your batteries onto. And there you go. That's it. Now, yeah, it's not my usual sort of thing, so I'm maybe not the best person to review it. But I have had a 180 from AKK, and I built my own 150 from Silverware and brushless, and they were good. The 150 was more fun than the 180. I wasn't so keen on the bigger size of the 180. So that's why I thought, well, if 150 is more fun than 180, then 135 is going to be more fun than 150, and it is, because it's smaller, and smaller means you can get in through tighter spaces. The things, so they're all good things. The bad things was the tune out of the box was very strange. It had these 28-inch props on there, but actually I think it was tuned for the 3052s, because from what I've read on the forums and talking to other people, so that's probably why I couldn't really get it to tune on those. What it would do is I would yaw hard, and it would sort of go to there and then come back a little bit like that. Go to there and then come back a little bit. And I couldn't really get that tuned out on these props without having loads of P and D. And started making a bit of vibration-y sort of noises there, so it didn't sound happy. But as soon as I put these props on, it was fine. So that's something to realise. It came with Betaflight 3.5 on there. Some people have updated it to Betaflight 4.0, but I'm not quite ready to do that yet because I think there are some issues with it from what I've heard. So I'm waiting. I've just tuned it on 3.5, and once Betaflight 4.0 is a-okay, and everybody says, yeah, go for it, it's great, it's fine, it's working really well, I'll do that, because I've got other quads on 4.0, but it's like the pre-release version, whatever it was, and they definitely fly better than anything than the same quad on 3.5. That would be the Mobula 7. The 3.5 version doesn't fly quite as well as the 3.4. That's the 4.0 version. I can't get it all together here. Right, but yeah. So, but that's by the by. You know, that's just a bit of a update. That's not a problem at all. USB's on the side there, so it's no problem plugging into that and just updating whatever you want. I've got the camera angle set quite low to what it came out at the factory. Don't know if you can see, it's fairly low. It goes more, obviously, so I'll be up in that once I've really got the hang of the speed and the weight and the way it performs. I'll put that camera right up and really get some speed going with it. But I'm loving the power. I mean, on 3S it's really good, but on 4S it's just quite scary. It just powers right up into the air, and you know, you're way above the trees. Although the sense of speed when you're down low isn't the same as this when you're going under the bushes at the moment, because it's the camera angles, the camera field of view is lower. But you know, it's I'll get there and I'll get used to it, and I'll be hammering it around before too long. I've been out every day for the last 3 days with it, and absolutely loving it. 3 batteries running through it, and yeah, flying that, and then I take another 4 batteries and fly this. So it's like, this is great for flying over the trees and shooting around the park, exploring the whole of the park really, and just great for the speed and some acro and some big floaty sort of moves where you chop the power at the top and it look down and you're still flying, you're still sort of flying upwards. Gives some, yeah, it's great fun. That doesn't really happen with these. Some of you might be interested in this. Somebody was asking how I built this. This is on silverware. This is a Beta 85X frame. That's a Beta FPV Lite FC in there, a brushed flight controller, flash with brushless firmware, and underneath there is a cheap 4-in-1 ESC, which I've connected to the FET gates on this flight controller, so to drive that ESC. And yeah, a quick tune. It only took me about 10 minutes to tune it, and this flies absolutely amazing. Really, really good. And yeah, you'll see some videos on that. And just kept it as light as possible with an AKK BS2 camera, and just stuck on with some double-sided tape and a bit of foam and rubber bands and stuff. And yeah, that's a 2S 300 mAh batteries I use on that, but it takes bigger. It can probably take a 450, 500 or even a 600 2S. And on the 300 mAh I'm getting 5 minutes of hard flying to 3.7 volts. I've gone to 6 minutes, and yeah, so if I put a bigger battery in there, that could really do well. That's a great little flyer, that is. Really pleased with that. But yeah, so if there's anything else you want to know about this or that, just let me know, drop it in the comments, and I'll try to answer it. So I'm no expert on these bigger quads. I've really been into these and silverware, but I just fancied something a bit of a change of pace and a bit more power and full range receivers and things. So yeah. Anyway, if you're still listening, thank you very much. If you're not, never mind. Please like, subscribe, and all that stuff if you feel like it. If you don't. And I will see you next time. Thanks very much. Cheers then. Bye now.